I'm part of a team called the Express team at the New York Times, which is a relatively new desk. I don't want to get this wrong, but I don't think it's more than a couple years old. And it was created to do just this, to cover breaking news sort of as a top priority. And then when there's not major breaking news, trying to figure out are there journal assignment stories that folks are going to be interested in reading. One thing that is interesting is, the New York Times is part of the News Guild, so I'm a union member, and so actually my shift is only something like 7 hours long, although it sometimes goes later.
Right.
And as you guys mentioned, I used to work at the LA Times. And at the LA Times, though I started on breaking news, I moved into covering a beat, like the California drought. And with the drought, you may be, you're taking calls at all hours, you're transcribing interviews on your weekend, you're going to interviews at lunch or whatever, and you are writing, some breaking news when it happens on your beat, but you're also trying to work on enterprise stories. And sometimes those enterprise stories will take a week, 2 weeks, even a month to do, because you may need to travel a good distance to be on the ground and get the color that you need to tell a story. With this job in New York, on this Express team, it's much more of a shift-based job. I come in, sit down at my desk, and there's probably already, some news that needs to be covered that we haven't had, enough people to deal with in the afternoon. It could be, someone has died. I'm about to go into to my shift here in a couple hours, and already some of the folks on my team, they're handling an obituary on someone who passed away in sports. There's a follow-up story to I believe it's a woman who was found dead in a freezer. Huh. Don't ask me about that. And meanwhile, there's another hurricane on its way to the Gulf Coast that's supposed to make landfall late tonight. And we're also juggling follow-up stories to the Weinstein piece that the New York Times broke about alleged sexual harassment by that big Hollywood producer. And there are also follow-ups to Las Vegas. We've had a live briefing going for many days on that, which I don't think we're doing today. So I don't know what is going to come my way when I sit down at my desk later today, but I'm going to be probably dealing with one of those things. And it's likely that, whereas it might take a week or 2 or 3 to do a story in LA, I'm going to do one story, or one thing today, and need to get that story done today, and then come in tomorrow and do it all over again. So the pace is much quicker, where you're using your sort of fast twitch muscles rather than your slow twitch muscles, and trying to put out the best, smartest story that you can, as quickly as possible, because in most cases, the stories that we're looking at are stories that people want to read right now,
right?
That are on Twitter and trending right now.